Redneck Garage. Well, I've been working on the motor on the Toyota, trying to get it ready to put back together. I had to go in and take a shower because I got so nasty. So let's take a look at what happened when I started working on the engine. Alright, I feel like I kind of turned a corner yesterday. I finished painting the interior of the engine compartment, so it's all white now instead of that red and black janky stuff. I got a little bit of touch-up to do, and the wiring harness I need to go through. I got some special silicone tape that's coming in tomorrow to wrap some of this in. You can see that it's just gotten old and brittle, and we'll rewrap some of the engine harness before I put the engine back in. So this weekend I'm going to be hopefully putting the head back on this thing. Alternator. Got to take off a few more things. I got to take off my air conditioner, harmonic balancer. That way I can take off the cover, and I'm going to put an oil pump on, and then we can make sure that there's no missing pieces for the timing chain. If you wanted to have a little tool envy, take a look at this. I got my new Milwaukee 3/8" drive extended ratchet. This thing is a bad mamba jamba. I love this thing. I put a link down below, but man, this thing's got some weight to it. It is one hefty brushless piece of machinery. All right, I'm down to the nitty-gritty here. This is the timing cover, oil pump. Got some oil pan bolts to take out on the bottom, and then the remaining bolts and the timing cover should come off, and then I can take a look at the guides and everything over here, and that'll tell me if I have to take the pan off or not. Here's a portion of the parts that I bought. This is the front cover. You'll see that on the Toyotas, you'll see that it'll mark up this edge where the chain will actually rub once the guides break. Here's new guides, new chain, the whole shoot and match, and it's got a steel guide, I believe, so it doesn't break and go off in there. Comes with a little bitty thing of RTV. Gaskets. Awesome. Well, I got good news and bad news, right? Good news is I got it apart. Bad news is I'm going to have to drop the oil pan. You can see that there's a missing piece right here where the timing guide goes. I found this right here in the front part of the pan. There's a piece of plastic, and that means there's another piece down in there somewhere, and you don't want to leave it in there to clog up your oil sump and then blow up your motor. So one more step, I'm going to take that oil pan off, and then we'll be ready to clean it up and get it ready to put back together. Well, I was sure hoping that this was in one piece. Alright, so the new one that I bought has steel guides rather than the plastic. They do hold up a lot longer, but they will make more noise. As that chain starts to wear, it will rattle a little bit more, but you don't have to fish it out of the oil pan. So that's your trade-off. Pulling the oil pan on a 22R sucks because you got your differential here. You got to take your steering off. Take these two parts off and you can drop it and usually get around it, but it still sucks. Went ahead and took the strainer out, and that gives me access to the oil pan, and while it's nasty and gross, I'm going to clean it out without taking anything else off, because really I just need to make sure that there's no pieces down inside the oil pan, and I think I hear a couple pieces of plastic rattling around, so I'll get this cleaned out and we'll be putting it back together. Man, that was gross. I was laying on my side reaching down into that oil pan, all that gunk and gross stuff, but let me show you what I got out of the oil pan. All this I pulled out of the oil pan, little pieces and big pieces. If you don't think that can clog up your oil screen, you got another thing coming. This could have blown up the motor had I not cleaned out the oil pan. As gross as it was, now I'm ready to take a shower and get some of this nastiness off me. Alright, so the only gasket I need is an oil pan gasket, and I checked all the local auto parts stores with the exception of AutoZone because they suck and they're not really an auto parts store. And the only one that has it is Advanced Auto Parts, so I'm headed over there to get my $12 gasket. There's a sweet little T-bird when I was coming out I saw. Nice. Well, I went into Advanced, and a young man named Colson waited on me, and he was very pleasant, found my parts, rang them up, and I appreciate the good service. Well, I got it down to the bare block. Everything looks really good. I'm ready to do a little bit of painting on the block itself and start getting ready to put things back together. She looks awful pretty. She's ready to go back together. Alright, so that's going to be it for today on the video. As far as the engine goes, it's ready for reassembly. I'm super happy with the way it looks. I got the block painted. I've got the interior painted. I got some wire tape coming in for the wiring harness to tape that up. So everything's going great. Next is to start putting the thing back together. Keep watching. Any questions, comments, post them below. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.